Hello, welcome to Yoga at Chris's house. This is the class on balance. There's many components that go into balance. Your posture, if you're slumped down or neck forward, you're already off balance. So working on our posture, feet under hips, pointed forwards, equally weighted on each, shoulders over hips, head up to the sky. Your core strength, bringing everything into the midline. Your body composition, if you have any imbalance in your spine or your feet, that could be something to work on too. But for now, we'll just start coming down to the ground and finding our balance in our seat. So just taking an easy pose, finding your sits bones, those two little bones that point down. See if they're equally weighted. Point in from the pubic bone all the way up to the top of the head. And let's just find our side to side, going back and forth like a little metronome, coming a little bit off balance and finding it. Coming off balance and finding it, just gently back and forth, and then we'll make that smaller and smaller and smaller until we come to stillness, finding that exact spot where we're balanced. And we'll come forward and back, same thing, taking a little rock, coming a little forward, a little back unbalanced, getting our balance back, and making that smaller and smaller until you find the place where you feel balanced. And if you have a mirror nearby, you may want to look. You want shoulders over hips. Most of us, when we sit, we're coming forward. So just make a big effort to bring your shoulders back, sitting up straight, crown of head to the sky. And now that we've found a balanced pose, we're going to do alternate nostril breath. This is a balanced breath, balancing left and right hemispheres. It's also very calming. So we're just going to start by taking our thumb and gently closing our right nostril as we exhale through the left. Inhale through the left, gently pinch both, exhale through the right, inhale through the right, gently close both nostrils, exhale left, inhale left, gently close, open the right, exhaling through the right, inhaling through the right, gently close both, open the left, exhale. Inhale is always your cue to pinch and switch sides. So just continuing on your own, exhaling out, inhaling, switch nostrils. And the last time you inhale, exhale and inhale through your right. Drop your hands. Just seeing if you feel more calm, lighter. And then we're just going to come over into a child's pose, waking up the back. Stretching our arms, maybe wiggling our hips side to side. And taking a big inhale and a big exhale here. Planting your hands. And let's come all the way up through a down dog and just walking. Not even a down dog, just a chance to walk your feet up to the top of the mat. And hanging your head, letting the back continue to stretch out. Maybe shaking the head. Maybe you just come side to side with your hands. And stopping in your forward fold, crown of head to the floor. Inhaling, coming halfway up. Exhale, release. Inhale, halfway up. Again, we want a long line from our tailbone to the crown of our head, flat back. And then bending your knees, slowly rolling up, all the way up. Often when we try to balance by lifting a leg, our back is tight. So let's just loosen up the lower back. Bring one hand on the front of your lower abdomen, right by your pubic bone, other hand on your sacrum. And we'll just scoop back and forth, tailbone back, tailbone forward. Just a nice little rock. And then just drop your hands down right above your knees, on your thighs, and we'll come into a standing cat-cow. Inhale, hips come up, exhale, round your back, tailbone is facing down. And we're just going to continue inhaling and exhaling. Just forward as we inhale. Round in the back as we drop our head and make a big C. And we'll do 3 more of these. And coming into stillness. Let's bend our knees deeper. Halfway up. All the way up. Opening up. Bringing hands to heart, finding this neutral pose, and dropping your hands in a triangle right under your belly button. Finding a place in the lower abdomen that's calm, that's centered. In the East, this is known as your 1 point, your dantian, your hara, your place of stillness. Just dropping into this place. And now we'll come back, raising our arms, but still having our balance, folding forward. Coming halfway up, bend your legs deeply, sitting your hips back, and we'll come up into a chair. Pull everything in midline. You may want your feet a little bit closer in this, hugging through midline of your legs, your body, as if you're holding a big ball that you're pushing in. And we'll come up and just let our arms make a big arm circle, or 2. Reaching our arms up, sinking our hips again. Feeling that core energizing, and we'll come down and back up. And I'm just going to turn facing you, still in chair, and bring all the way into the right leg. Just bring that left toe back, maybe more to the outside, and come up into a high lunge. Check in with your hips, they should be even. Sinking down and up, able to move. And bringing our hands up, Making it a little mini back bend, sinking down to counter that. And I'm going to come up, extend that front leg, plant my back foot, and reach over into pyramid. Again, this front hip is drawing back, my hips are even. And I extend back up, still holding that big ball, using that core into my crescent, and dropping that big ball down over my legs. I can touch the ground if I need to and bring my head down. And again, we'll come up into our crescent, sinking down and forward. And this time as I extend and come into pyramid, maybe my arms come back like a bird soaring. And one more time up, sink into that forward hip and come back. Coming back just into neutral position, feet grounded, head tall. Going to swing again into my chair. And then all my weight in my other leg. I'm going to bring my right foot back, toes on the ball of my feet. Maybe make my stance wider so that my hips are forward. Finding the strength in a high lunge. And I'll come into that crescent, taking a little back bend as I sink down. Feel as if you're really squeezing everything in, your hips, your thighs. And then from that, come up, extending the front leg, over the front knee. You can have your hands down or on your shin or behind your shin. And as we inhale, reach that big ball out, bring it up, sink it down, sinking into this big base. And we'll bring it down and over, pyramid, nose to knee. Maybe letting our hands soar. And again, sinking in, coming up, finding a big crescent. And one last time, extending that front leg for pyramid. And as we bring our hands up, we'll step up to the top of the mat, hands in prayer in front of the heart. And let's shake our legs out. Maybe shake everything out. And coming again, opening up, embracing the day, folding forward. Maybe you can come up on your heel, little heel walk here. Come up on your toes, lifting your heel up. And then feeling the feet flat, bending your legs, coming up, back into chair. This time, I'm going to bring my hands to prayer, helping me to push everything in. You can go, you just stay in chair, or put all the way into the left leg. Bring those toes up. If you're balanced, you can lift that foot up. You can bring it over, your ankle over on top of your thigh, and take a one-legged chair, pushing everything in. If you want, you can drop your hands, feeling this solid leg. And we'll just drop down and shake it off. And again, lift up, sink into chair. Plant all the weight in your right leg. Bring that left ankle on top of your right thigh for a one-legged chair, sinking your hips back. Bringing your hands to prayer if you want. Can't talk and do this. And just coming back, taking a forward fold, coming up halfway, planting your hands, let's step back to down dog. And imagine that you're lifting your inner thighs up to the sky, engaging your hips, And you're engaging your palm, your biceps towards the front wall. Strong hands. And now that you're stable in your down dog, we're going to be unstable and just rock our hips side to side, using our core. And you can bring this, make this as big or as little as you want. And roll out to plank. Find a gaze here. Right, zip up that core. And on exhale, drop your knees. Come all the way down, elbows in at your sides. Dropping your forehead, last thing. Bringing your feet and legs together. Gently start to push into the ground with your hands. Bring forehead, chest, heart up for cobra. And we'll push back through child's pose. Just having a nice release. Tucking your toes, coming back to down dog. 2 breaths in down dog. And on an inhale, let's come out to plank. Firming up those fingers. Just going to take little dips in plank. Can be a little bit off center. And then back to center. Building strength. And then drop your knees. Let your elbows bend into your sides, coming all the way down. Forehead touches floor. Engage your shoulders open and lift up into a cobra. Maybe here you can also just look around side to side. And we'll push back. Exhale here in child's pose. Maybe take a wide-legged child's pose. Engage your fingers, tuck your toes, come up through down dog, and look between your hands, and on your next big out breath, in breath, step forward. Coming into your forward fold, and rolling slowly all the way down, all the way up. Hands at heart, pushing in. Let's bring those fingers all the way up, making a steeple, and just coming side, back up, side to side, again like a little metronome. And let's stop pointing at the right side, all the way into your right foot, and see if you can bring that left toe out. Maybe you can bring your foot up and coming both feet down, hands back to heart. And we'll bring those steeple fingers back up, side to side. And the next time you're on the left, plant that left hand down, bring your toe out. Maybe the whole foot can come up. Engaging your core, reaching those arms, and dropping your foot back. Just make some big arm circles, coming back, and coming forward. And we'll come back up to our steeple, being sure our feet are even and firm. And again, side to side. And as you come over to the left, you can bring that toe out again, or you can draw a little semicircle and bring your foot behind your left leg, sort of ankle to ankle. Bend your knees. You don't want any clash with your knees. And you can just bring one hand to your hip helping it over while the other hand arches over your head. And we'll unleash our ankles, come back to our Tadasana, pressing hands in to prayer at our heart, bringing our heart forward, and then propelling those hands up, side to side. This time stopping on the right leg. You can have just your toe out on the left, or bring that left foot behind your other ankle, bending your knees. Almost a tiny plie, hand on hip, and arch over. And we'll step our foot back to neutral. One more time, side to side, making a nice little arc on the ceiling. And then when you're over to the left, you can just bring that toe out, or you can make a bigger circle and put it behind your other foot, knees bent, and we'll make a little curtsy. Coming up, push into this forward foot, and come back to standing. And a big inhale, coming over to the right, planting into that right foot, left toe goes out. Place that left toe behind the right, bend your knees, and come down in a little curtsy. Pressing into this forward leg, bring your feet back up to neutral. And we'll reach up, coming all the way down, our forward fold, planting our hands, stepping back to our downward dog. And this time raising one leg, one-legged down dog. Hips are still even. And I'm going to step all the way forward. My back foot is on the ball of the foot. I reach forward. Those even hips coming back into my high lunge. Firming everything in, and then taking a twist over that extended bent knee. I'll swing back up, sinking down, push off that back foot, coming up, and we'll do that on the other side. Nice big open arms, swan dive down, plant your hands, come into down dog. Big exhale. Bring the left foot up, hips are still even. Step forward where your left hand was. Be a little more room with the right, coming up, up, up. Squeezing everything together, hips and thighs open to the bent knee side. And then coming back to the crescent. Push off that back ball of the foot and stand straight up. Coming into tree, and if you'd like to use a little prop for tree, you can have it on whatever height. We'll have all of our weight coming into our left, and you can bring your toe on the ground next to that ankle for a little baby tree. You could use the block by it to rest your toe or leg or foot on. Pushing our hands in, engaging that midline, that core. I'm going to just remove the block, but if you're using it, please continue. And just bringing that leg up and pushing again into midline, being sure I'm not on my knee. And coming down, let's just sink down, coming up through a big chair, making big circles that come all the way down and up. And I'm going to move my block to the other side if I'm using it for tree. Putting all the way into my right leg. That left toe can come up to the heel to shin, outside of shin, or you could use your block Or you can bring your foot up higher, pushing everything into midline, finding a point to gaze at. And just coming down, maybe taking a little half fold. And we'll come back up. Finding neutral here. And again, you can go back to using the block or having toe on floor, or bringing all of the weight onto the left. Find a place on the wall that won't move. Coming up and making sure that this bent knee is coming out. You can even hold down on it, raise the other hand, reaching up and coming down, dropping that foot and the arm. And coming back to center. All the weight on your right foot. Bring that left leg, left foot onto your shin. Open up the thigh. You can even help it by pushing down on it. Open, bring up the right arm. And dropping everything down. Shaking it out, maybe taking little side swings with your arms. And one last tree, coming into any variation of tree that you like. As long as you're not on your knee, you could be a blooming tree, a flowering tree, flowing in the breeze, whatever arm variation you want to take, maybe a cactus. And then dropping your foot down, shaking those arms out. We'll come over to the other side. Lifting those hands up, find your gaze. And whatever type of tree, maybe there's a storm, maybe a popping magnolia blossoms out. And we'll just come down, fold over. Moving my block a little bit, stepping back to my downward dog. Raising my right leg up, bringing it over my left ankle for a one-legged down dog. And come up to a one-legged plank. Strong core. Even out your hips. Push back. Both feet down for regular dog. Lift the other leg up. Cross foot over the back of your right ankle. Come down to a one-legged plank. Come forward or come back to down dog. Bring your feet together. Coming down into plank. Bring one hand, your left hand under your nose. Turn so that you're into a side plank, whatever variation with your legs. And we'll bring our hands down, back to our down dog, pedaling it out. And then bringing the right hand under your nose, turning on the sides of your feet, raising that arm for side plank. And bringing those hands down, just dropping down into your child's pose. And you can take a nice rock. And then again, plant your hands, tuck your toes, come into a down dog, raise the right leg, knee to nose, and extend, knee to nose, and extend, knee to nose, and step forward. Turn your back leg so that you can come right up into a warrior two. So you want the heel of your forward foot to intersect the arch of your back foot, back toes a little in, and bending into that front knee. Coming into warrior two, hips forward. Reach a little bit forward with that forward hand. Let your back hand trail down your thigh as you reach your forward hand into reversed warrior. Look down at that back leg and extend your forward knee, coming to straight legs, reaching your arms back out. Let's sink into that warrior two again. Reaching forward, dropping that back arm on your thigh. And we'll just scoop like we're throwing a big ball over our head, laying that back hand drop down our thigh as you make a big arch with the front hand over our head, reversed warrior. And now we'll extend that front leg, bring both ends out strong. So we'll drop the front arm, raise the top arm, triangle. Your ear should be over your knee, your shoulder in line with your hip. Again, this is a balance thing. If you're leaning forward, you're not leaning back too much. You're between two panes of glass, making a big triangle as you reach one arm up and one arm down. And bend that front knee again, making a little shelf for your arm, coming into side angle. You can bring this back arm over your ears, reaching out. Drop your hand down to the mat, pivoting on that back toes. Take a little twist. Bring your hands back, drop that knee. Let it come out into a little lizard, rocking your hips. Tucking those back toes, push off your toes, coming up to the front. Just dropping your head, grabbing your elbows to swing back and forth. And swing forward and back. And keep swinging bigger and bigger until you come all the way up. Leaning slightly back, maybe into your arms. And open up, fold over, plant your hands, come back into your down dog. Raising the other leg up, knee to nose. Extend the foot back, knee to nose. Extend back, knee to nose, hug it in, and then bring it up. I did the wrong leg, so I'm switching back where that hand is, and then windmill your arm up. Check your feet that you're in warrior two, sinking this knee so where you can only see your big toe, that front leg, and again, reaching forward and taking a reverse warrior, a nice side bend, coming forward. And I know I'm doing the wrong side. Please switch if you're following me. Reaching forward. And a nice big back bend, supporting yourself on your back, hand on your back thigh. And one more time. Sink down, open both arms back. Reach forward, drop the back arm, and throw a ball over your head. And we'll come out, straightening our legs, straightening our arms. Bringing a hand down to your thigh and a hand up. Bringing this shoulder back as if you could touch the wall behind you, an imaginary wall. And then we'll just sink into the front leg, taking a side angle, dropping down, taking a little twist, and coming down, bringing your knee out, a little, getting onto the pinky side of your foot. And we'll come back to a nice child's pose. Coming forward, taking a few cat-cows here. Inhale, drop the belly, bring your shoulders forward. Exhale, round everything, bring your spine all the way up. And again. And we'll take 3 more down dogs. And coming back, toes tucked under, downward dog, knee up. Bring that knee out to the side. And bringing it forward. This time I'm just going to rotate to the middle. Bring both feet to facing the edge of the mat, hanging over. Coming halfway up. And bringing my toes out. Walking from one side to the other. Again, that little metronome. And coming back to the front. Coming back to my downward dog. Taking a vinyasa, coming forward. Dropping knees, stomach, chest, forehead, all the way down, coming up into a cobra, tucking toes, coming back to down dog, stepping all the way forward, fingers on the ground, coming into a little toe squat, hugging my knees in, engaging my abs. Maybe I can let go of the floor. Bringing my hands to my heart. And bringing my hands down. Walking my feet further out. Toes to the side. A nice malasana. A wide-legged squat. And again, you could have your hands down. I have them at prayer center. And maybe even see if you can move in this position. And sinking down, balancing here. Bring your hands down to the mat. We'll come back down, just on your knees if you can. And we'll take another little rock with our hips. Bring our back to the back of the mat and our chest forward. A nice rock, opening up the back. And we'll do 2 more times. And then we'll come up onto our knees. You can tuck the toes. And from here, just bring your hands in your back pocket, coming into a little camel pose. And coming back up, untuck your toes, bring your right leg out. And I'm just going to let my right leg go down my right thigh. And I'll lift my left arm up and over. And I'll open up, reaching for the floor with my left, and I might use a block since I have short arms, pushing down into the block of the floor, and I'll lift that right leg up and that right arm up, and drop it down, coming back up to center, bringing both legs in, sitting back in Virasana, hero's pose. And bringing hand to heart, see how that felt. If you used a block, you can bring it over to the other side. Coming up, opening my arms, tucking my toes, leaning a little bit back in camel. Bringing my hands to the heart, untucking my toes. I'll bring my left leg out, and my left arm will come down my thigh, As my right arm comes over towards the left side, taking a side bend here, and then reaching that right arm up, dropping it down to the floor or to a block, and lifting up that left leg. If you want to try and take a bind, you can reach back for it. I'm just going to enjoy the open feel of my arm and leg extending, and then dropping back up into your original position. Knees come under you, and we'll sit back. And just coming onto our sits bones again, hugging our knees into our chest. Do some balancing while seated. So hugging your knees and bringing your feet off the floor. The chest continues to come forward, and you can drop it down. And again, engage your arms, engage your core, bring your feet off the floor. Nice long spine, and dropping the feet down. One more time. Inhale, bring the feet up. Exhale, just holding and breathing. And as we drop down, our knees can drop out and just fold over. We take a little butterfly knees. And help your knees back up together. Going to bring our hands behind us, fingers pointing at our hips, opening the shoulders and bringing our legs up for our assisted boat. And coming back up, giving our legs a little hug, dropping our head down. Again, bring your hands behind your hips, fingers pointed towards your hips, and bring your legs up, a nice V. Breathe here. When you're finished, you can drop your legs down and come back to hug your knees, letting them drop out, and fold forward over your butterfly knees. And coming up, one last time, taking boat, so your arms can be forward this time, extending your legs. You can keep them bent or extended. And then when you're ready, hug your knees in. And we'll come all the way down on the floor. Let your feet drop, your soles of your feet together, your hips on the floor open, your knees open, releasing that lower back. And your cat massage your hair. Yes, thank you, Gracie. And bringing your knees into your chest. Just rocking side to side. Have your hands out in a T. And they almost touch the ground. And they almost touch the ground. And they almost touch the ground. And then just let them drop down. Extending the arms. And a big inhale and exhale. You can bring your knees in, give yourself a hug. And dropping your arms out. Bring your knees back and forth. They almost drop down. Almost touch the ground each side. And then the next time you come to the right, or wherever the opposite side is for you, drop them down. Taking a spinal twist. And another big breath in and out. Bring your feet down flat on the floor, knees bent. You can bring your hands by your hips, coming up into bridge. Again, bringing those hips as if they're going to come together. And lower your hips. With your arms pushing down, lift your hips up. It's enough, Grace. And bring your hips down. And the last time, you can bring your hands behind your back and be clasped for full bridge. And if you want, you can come up on the balls of your feet or even on your toes. Knees are coming forward. Dropping your hips down and you're letting them just rock on your sacrum, rocking your hips back and forth, planting your left leg, pushing your hands to the ground, bring your right leg up to the ceiling, stomping on it, and let that leg drop down, foot planted next to the other one. Raise your left leg up, push into your right, lift that left foot to the ceiling, and come down, and just extending your legs, coming into a final rest. And I'm just going to watch the time. And if you have the time to stay on the ground, you can continue Shavasana. If not, thank you for watching my video, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you.